Hello, my name is Simmer Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to what I'm calling a gardener's dream house. Today we are building this 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom kind of colonial style, I think. This house is very simple in that I've kind of done something similar before, and it's a relatively straightforward exterior, but the inspiration for this house really came in the backyard. I've been seeing a lot of landscaping plans for backyards and things on Pinterest, and it's really been getting my creativity going, and I've been really enjoying kind of planning out backyard spaces just to kind of make it visually appealing from like the bird's eye view. You know, in The Sims, a lot of the time we're seeing our houses or the community lot or whatever from kind of the bird's eye view. So I really wanted it to be pretty from that angle. We will talk a little bit more about the process in the backyard when we get there, but for now we're just trying to get in some windows here. It was kind of difficult to figure out what I wanted to do because I thought shutters would probably look best on this style of house, but then I wasn't vibing any of the windows with shutters, so it didn't quite work out. And I really wanted to have a couple of like greenhouse kind of areas attached to this house. So we see that little bump out on the side, and then there's a little bump out again on the back. Both of those are going to end up having glass roofs, which I think is super cute. I love doing glass roofs. And in one of those we're going to get some planter boxes, and then in the other we'll just end up with a dining space. I really like using rooms with like a lot of natural light as dining areas. I don't know why, or like sitting areas, because I would love to sit in a very sun-baked little space like that to like read or hang out, whatever. I think that's really pretty. So I've been doing stuff like that a lot lately, honestly. Even in builds that I'm not building for YouTube, I've been doing a lot of like little greenhouse kind of vibes because I like it personally. I really like having that, and I would, in my most humble opinion, love to have something like that on my house. So the house will essentially get its name from having those multiple little greenhouse attachments to the house, but also our very plant-filled backyard. So this is my first video since I've seen the Growing Together trailer, and while we do the landscaping here in the front, I figured we could talk about it a little bit. So I am kind of interested to see how this gameplay works, because I like the idea of being able to set like the family dynamic. I feel like when I play, I'm more frequently having families that are close-knit just because that's how I play, but I find it really hard to have like crappy parents in the game. And one of the things I've been trying to do lately is kind of create storylines where Sims get like the kids will get bad traits because of how they were raised. So it's a little bit realistic, you know what I mean? But I'm struggling because that's not always possible, because the Sims want to be close to their families, but I don't want that. So it's kind of difficult to have like a family that's not super close and they're distant, and I'm kind of excited to see how, you know, that feature now will allow me to do different things and different kind of gameplay styles. Of course, in this pack we are also supposedly going to be getting a lot more like family interactions generally. You know, we saw that there was a grandparent coming to stay after the birth of a new baby, and I think that's really interesting, especially because it seems like you could like have them come without being formally invited, which seems interesting. I'm curious to see if that's legitimate, like if, you know, the parents or the grandparents will just show up at the house after you've had a kid unannounced and say, you know, we're staying, we're here to help. I'm kind of curious like how that works, or if the player has to like unofficially invite the grandparent and have them come and like set it up so that they're gonna stay. I'd assume you'd want to do that, and it's not just like, you know, the grandparent randomly shows up, but I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that whole dynamic. I'm also really curious to see, of course, the baby update, because I still don't quite understand how it's going to work. The theory is that we're still going to have like the object newborns where, you know, they're just in the little box and you can't do anything with them. And then we're going to have the additional life state of the infants. And I'm kind of interested to see how all of that's going to work, how that changes like the lifespan generally. Like, are we going to have longer sim lives? Like, I don't know the actual numbers, but say a sim's life lasts 100 days and each life state is about, you know, 10 days. I don't know. That's the math doesn't math, but just stick with me here. I'm wondering if, because we're adding a new life state, if, you know, we're going to be adding, you know, extra days onto that 100-day lifespan, or if we're going to be, you know, taking away time from the other stages. Like, you're going to have less days as a baby and you'll have less days as a toddler and a teen and so on to compensate for that added life state. I'm really curious to see what ends up happening. Anyway, so we're now into the backyard because I rambled for so long about growing together, but you saw me kind of map out the terrain paint and then slowly add in different plants. What I noticed with the like Pinterest landscaping that I was talking about earlier is they create kind of like a bean shape or something kind of funky shape with the grass, and then like all of the plants are repetitive. So you have some trees that are probably the same tree, and then you have plants that are the same plants, but they're strewn out throughout the whole backyard, so it's not really repetitive and it's just really pretty. So I really like how this looks. I think I'm going to be trying this technique on a couple of builds. I like having like the overgrown backyard. I feel like this looks really realistic, especially with like the grass and the like places for kids to play and stuff like that. So I really like it. I will definitely be doing more of this kind of thing, especially because this is what Pinterest has been showing me a lot lately, like a lot. My Pinterest is like covered in industrial builds, like the English or French country style building and backyard landscaping, and I'm not mad at it. I'm quite enjoying it, and I feel like I'm learning a lot about like landscaping generally, which is kind of fun. I love learning new things, and part of the reason why I love playing and building in The Sims is just you learn different architectural styles, learn how to make floor plans work, all that kind of stuff, and I think that's very fun. That's very entertaining for me. Anyway, so we just kind of mapped out the house and the floor plan. I did do a lot of that off camera because it was a little crazy and it took me a hot minute to figure out the best floor plan and layout. So I apologize that you didn't get to see that whole process, but it would have added a very large chunk of time to this video, so you're welcome. Anyway, so in here we're going with kind of like, I don't want to say it's grandma style, but like that's kind of the vibes I was getting, kind of like traditional, maybe very, very cozy, a lot of like warm tones, a lot of like red, a lot of like spring colors. We got pinks in here. We end up going with the yellow cabinets on the kitchen. We end up going with some like kind of pink and fun colors in the dining room. So it's a little colorful. Let's just go with that. It's very colorful interior, but like I think it's tastefully colorful. But I really enjoy it. I think I'm struggling with building because I keep building houses that I really like, and I don't have any, like, I didn't plan on playing in them. So I think what I'm gonna have to start doing is I'm gonna have to build and then like plan a family, maybe make the family off camera, and then just have like a day where I can play in the house and just kind of make sure it all works. Maybe I'll start doing that. I don't know. We'll see. But I really like building, and I'm struggling because I keep building things I want to play in. So that's where I'm at right now. Anyway, so this is our little dining room area. I'm just going to kind of plunk some stuff in here so that I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. I do think I end up using those chairs. I can't remember if I end up using that dining table, but I wanted those chairs because they match the kind of like pinky salmon color on that couch in the front room. In here is going to be our office space. I originally thought it'd be kind of fun to put the desk on an angle like this, but then I decided I wanted to do a bookcase next to it, and it no longer worked on the angle. So boo. But I still really like it. I think it's really cute. I feel like it's not super realistic to put a desk on an angle like that. I feel like it in real life would be a waste of your space to do that. But I find it's kind of fun to do that in like very expensive looking houses, because I feel like when your house is huge, you can waste space, and it's kind of like a sign of your wealth if you can take up a lot of space and not have a problem with like walking around your house. Anyway, what am I rambling about? I don't know. Anyway, so we're now into the bathroom. The bathrooms all kind of end up looking the same. I pretty much just kind of copy and paste everything, and I never use this orange floor. So I thought, you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So we went for it. Anyway, we're just gonna get a couple of little touches in the downstairs, and then we're gonna head up. Maybe I end up going with white floors up here no, I think I do end up doing the orange upstairs. I guess I could look at it since the house is literally right in front of me right now. We end up going with the white. We end up going with white up here. That's right. I like how clean it looks. The orange was fun. And I kind of regret not doing the orange all over, but I can kind of tell that would be a little much. So I think the yellow is probably for the best. Alright, so as we furnish up here, I'm gonna jump around a little bit. It's not too bad, but I do sporadically, is that a word? I do periodically change rooms just because I lose my motivation to work on whatever I'm working on. But also, I did my number one pet peeve in building, and we have a 1 tile wide hallway up in the upstairs area. It really bugs me. You can of course use a 1 tile wide. Sims don't need 2 tiles to walk around, but it really bugs me to have 1 tile wide like corridors or hallways, because it just feels so tight and so claustrophobic. But this one kind of required it. It's a pretty narrow house, and I wanted to get all these builds or all these bedrooms in there. So, you know, had to sacrifice a little bit and do my little pet peeve. And see, look how small that looks. Like that hallway just looks so small. But I feel like it's a short distance where it's 1 tile. I would have liked it to be shorter, but whatever. Room's got to be big enough so that you can put furniture in it. And I feel like having it open at the back like that kind of makes it a little bit better. But you know, I really try not to do that. Do you have any pet peeves when you build in The Sims? If you build, do you have any build pet peeves like that? Like, I know that some people don't like putting, me included, don't like putting doors like right into the corner. So what are yours, if you have any? I'm always curious to see what other people care about when they're building, or you know, when they're playing. Like, what little things about this game bug you, or about like whatever gameplay, whatever bugs you. Tell me what bugs you about The Sims, because there's a lot, and I feel like we're all really good about complaining about it. So how about this? In the comments, give me one thing that you hate about The Sims, something that really bugs you, something that really just grinds your gears, and then something else that you absolutely love. So let's see. I will go first, because I guess since I propositioned this one, something I really hate about this game is the fact that there are lots of features in the game that modders do better. You know, like I don't use a lot of the mods, but I know that like the attraction mod and like Whimsical Whims, like a lot of those add really fun gameplay features that we just don't have in the game, and I wish that we had more of those. I'm hoping that we get some of that with Growing Together. You know, we've seen some compatibility features, so that's really cool. Something I really love about the game is how inclusive it is. You can really do anything you want. You can play however you want. You can have your Sims be whoever they want, and I think that's really awesome for a franchise. We've kind of talked about it a lot. If you're on Sims Twitter, you've probably seen a lot of it, but there's a lot of other games that are not as inclusive, and I feel like The Sims has always done its best to be inclusive and to let you play however you want to play. Like, that's the whole name of the game, right? Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the video, so I'm gonna go, sending you all the positive energy, all the good vibes, and happy simming. Okay, bye!